Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, with respect to whichever part of the world you are from. For me, it's 8 p.m. here in Mysore, the second largest city in the southern Indian state of Karnataka, India. I'm here for a week, approximately on a break with my family, and we are enjoying a holiday, nice weather in terms of school, rain sometimes, and the food is great. Now, just a little about Mysore. Uh, I've always wanted to come to Mysore for a long time. As a person who's interested in history, this city has so much to offer, such a rich legacy of various kings, dynasties, and other rulers. You can see their contributions or their presence in the city today. So much of, uh, open spaces, wide roads, generally clean, the food is good, and you must experience it at least once in your life. Uh, so coming back to my historical part, as I was interested, always wanted to come here, and so I finally here and enjoying the visits to the palaces, to the gardens, to the wildlife parks, and we still have things to do in the next 3 days. Tomorrow we are going to a wildlife sanctuary called Bandipur and taking a safari. Then we got a bird sanctuary to visit. Then there's an amazing dam called KRS Dam with the fountains, the gardens. We've been to the Saint Philomena Church this morning, Sunday, and it's very similar to the Saint Patrick's Cathedral in New York, Manhattan, and also to the German cathedral. I can't remember the city it is in. So another good places that we have visited. Uh, the little about Mysore. What I want to talk to you about is, if it might be of help to you, how I plan my trips. And I realized that from my conversation with my earlier employer, and he said to me he was very successful. He was someone I looked up to, who I learned a lot from, and I was surprised to hear from him saying, "How do you get a time to do this? How you plan it? What do you do?" And I then realized that is something I could share with a lot of people. So I'm sure there are many great planners out there of holidays, and some things or many things I could learn from, and I look forward to that of continuously learning. But I'll share with you what I do in the planning of holidays, right? And how to make it more enjoyable, what to look out for, also, and so that we can, make it a real pleasant time. So for me, I've been doing this for quite a while, even when I was employed, when I used to run a business, and I used to make it a point uh, to make a sort of a timetable. So what I would do on an annual calendar, I would mark out the holidays uh, which were there. At that time, it was holidays for me because I was working or had a business to run. Public holidays, I mean, and I would long weekends, and most of that was in Dubai or outside India, and I would try different places. So at one point, maybe a beach area, another time a hilly area, a third time maybe a wildlife place, an animal place, the fourth time, different countries. So we went to Oman, for example. We went to longer trips to Malaysia, Singapore, uh, Thailand, right? And when I came down to India, now the thing about being employed was not there, or running a full time business where I had more time to myself. So, however, what I had to check was on a school holiday. So, that is a deciding factor for me on the on planning the trips. So, getting that out of the way, so I would have a calendar, as I said before, and I would have a target for the year. So for example, this year I'm planning about 4 to 5 trips. I planned, this is my fourth one, right? And I have one more to go, so I have a objective of holiday trips as well, and I would mark them on the calendar sense of number of days, look for suitable places, and in other forms which are linked. For example, can I drive there? Do I need to take a train? Can I fly, or do I need to fly? You know, do I stay at stretch at a place and make short trips to other places? Do I spend some time here and some time there, or break the journey? So I do this planning in advance, and the benefit of that is I try to book in hotels early, book the flights early, right? Now, there's a caveat there. Sometimes it backfires because, say, for example, in air flights which I booked and then I had to cancel for some reason, I tend to lose some money there. So, a learning curve for me. Uh, but then nevertheless, it's part of the journey or part of the planning. So I would do that, and once the hotels are done, once the flights or trains or even sometimes the buses are done or taxis, I would interact. I would look up these places, you know, and see what are the must dos there, what are hot spots that we need to visit, you know, plan the journey in advance, how much time it takes to get there, which is the, you know, best form of transport. Is it a taxi? Is it a bus? You know, is it walking? And if possible, I prefer walking. You know, another important factor I take into account is see, if I was traveling alone, is a different matter, right? But when I got my wife and particularly kids, you know, so you can't tire them a lot, so they need breaks, you know. They need to, so for example, tomorrow we're going to the wildlife sanctuary, so they need to sleep in early, otherwise they'll be tired tomorrow. We need to wake up early tomorrow and leave about 4:30 in the morning, so that we can see the animals who come out earlier than humans generally. So all that planning goes for the kids. What type of food we need to plan. For example, you know, when you're on holidays, and those who are particularly on healthy food take a deviation because it's not sometimes the healthy food that you normally eat. So how can you make it as healthy as possible? Can you take a service apartment that you can cook at least a part of your food? Make sure you have the fruits, the water. You know, also when you travel, one thing I always do, I make a travel plan, and now I write it down, or I have it on my phone. So I plan each and everything in terms of how many bags, what goes in the bags, the key things like the medicines, the passports, the tickets, the you know, even clothes. What clothes I need? The sporting clothes. So the out clothes, in clothes. You know, any important thing like a torch, my full electronic, when I mean my phone, the chargers, right? My glasses, books I need to take to read. Uh, then also recently I realized I was packing too many things. So how can we make it more concise and pack what I need only and don't take extra things, right? Uh, then I use a list to help my wife and the kids pack theirs. What type of footwear we need to take, you know, what's the plan, so that helps us, the type of clothing, a jacket, you know, shorts, you know, And also basically all this is detailed weeks in advance, and I keep it. I mark it as we fulfill each of the parts of the travel plan. And money, for example, how am I going to pay? Is it UPI? Is it credit cards, cash? How much cash I'm going to take? And also important to note how you keep this safe. For example, when you travel, you could be prone to thefts. You could be prone to losing your things. So how you mitigate that? All that is planned, and once that is planned, then you just start following it. It takes a bit of work. Another part of planning also, if I've not mentioned already, is where we need to go. What is the variety of things we need to do, in terms of what a place has to offer, what type of foods or restaurants we need to visit. All that also I make a note of, right? And when we start on the holiday, I start checking out all those things, looking around for newer things I could add or things that I can take out, and um, I make it as enjoyable as possible. Another thing when you travel is you actually are out of a comfort zone. So sometimes it could get frustrating when the guy who's supposed to clean your apartment doesn't show up, when suddenly the taxi they booked doesn't come or gets lost, when you go to a place and it's closed. Like the other day, we wanted to go for the Mysore Palace sound and light show, and it was closed for that day. So those things come up, but it's all part of the journey. I'm sorry, part of the holiday, and something I've got used to. And One particular time I remember, we had a bit of a health emergency with my son who was running a fever and one of the holidays. So that is something I take as a priority in terms of making sure that clinics, health centers close by in case of an emergency, carry your medication if you need to use in an emergency, right? And very important thing is also for me, particularly learn as much as I can on in the holiday. Now, coming back to my circle of mastery, which I gave in my earlier videos, a couple of important things were there. But this thing on travel particularly links to social, meeting more people in that regard, recreation, family time, also learning, self-learning, or for myself, um, in all these areas. And so I make it a point to learn a lot of things. For example, went to the Mysore Palace, and we hired a tour guide. We could have done without it, but with the tour guide, there was so much of knowledge he shared with us, which was I felt enriched for that day. He talked about the dynasties who were there, what they did, how they lived. It was so exciting. I imagined how life was during that time with the king, his ministers, his horses, his elephants, his gold, the painters, the stuff that they did, which was really amazing, right? How they governed, so much to learn about, and I just felt enriched and as a person, from this trip. And this is something I try to do in every trip, so it become a memory for me. I try to share that with my kids, in terms of learning, open their minds up to bigger and wider things. So hopefully they can be more open to the world, more open to new ideas, learn new stuff, absorb as much as possible, right? Because I believe nothing teaches you so much as travel does. And by that I mean not only new places, but all the people that you meet, the food that you have to eat, which you might like or sometimes not like, the frustrations you might have in terms of things not going in a way which would happen in your own home city, home place, right? So it's got adjustments are there, but it's all about, it makes you adaptable, resilient, and also excited about life. And in terms of, again, my circle of mastery, it actually improves your health also, in terms of be happy, right? uh, Holidays, I think, breaks, I have been fun. I to take it a bit seriously in terms of the planning. And why I say this is because I believe if you want to have a good holiday, you have to plan it well, right? Otherwise, you could be spending more money than required, wasting more time than required, not enjoying as much as you might want to. And it's not about you, particularly if you're going in a bigger group like your family. It's all the stakeholders also need to have a time, and you with them, also bonding time with them, right? So all this has to be thought about. uh, Safety is another thing which I always think about. For example, if I feel if I feel that it's a bit of a hassle traveling in a particular mode, then I would switch, right? For example, if I travel by train, and a train is has to be is reaching somewhere early in the morning, and we might be too tired to jump to another train, I just look for a little more convenient way, like either flying or change the train route, or a new, say, a bus or something like that. So I look at safety, and when I say safety, particularly not only for, I mean, particularly for the kids, but also for us. All right, so you don't end up having an accidental sort of holiday, right? uh, so there are many factors that I look into. I'm happy to give you tips. If you want to reach out to me as a comment to plan your holiday, I'm more than happy to guide you. All right. Budgeting also very important. uh, so please do reach out to me if you need anything, right? And if you are the travel bug that I am, it is something really one of the best things you can do. And another thing, I mean, I keep myself as fit as possible, and that is also because my passion for traveling. So when I travel, I try to walk a lot, go on a lot of adventures, right? And of course, I need to have a stamina, right? So fitness also is a regular thing which I do to keep up with my travels, right? I make my kids walk a lot because in today's age, I believe people are walking lesser, and that has another impact on health and everything. So as we travel, make them walk, rather than it's simply unnecessary when not needed to take a taxi or a bus or something like that, which keeps them healthier. And yeah, so that's my now it's about 18 minutes of travel talk. So please, if you find this useful to you, please like this and share this with your friends who you think might be benefit for this. Just before I end, I would, after giving all talk about my travel, I would encourage you to travel, right? It's part of my break free and live your best life. What is a best life if you're not also exploring the world, the wonders the world has to offer, the people that you could meet, and you can enrich yourself. There's so much out there in the world. I'm trying to visit, travel, see as much as I can of this beautiful planet God's gift to us, and it's making an impact and difference to me, in terms of positivity, looking forward, you know, excitement, and all the positive stuffs to have a great life. And I'm sure it can do it for you. And this is my advice. If you're a travel bug, great, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, do start trying it. It's a bit of effort, but if you get over that, I can tell you that you will enjoy life to much higher level than what you're enjoying at the moment. All the best. Okay. Thank you for watching my video. Again, please like and share this if you find it useful, and all the best until next week. Bye bye.